Alright, we're going to start this chest day in the way we haven't in a while. Dumbbell chest flies. Alright, chest is warmed up. Let's get into it. Oh yeah. Time for this beauty of a machine. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that seat's a bit high. Ooh. All right. No chest day here is complete with this machine or the flat variation of it. Ooh. Ooh, such a beautiful machine. God. Ooh, all right. A little heavier, not too crazy. Ooh. This time there's a 10 between the 25 and 45, so it's almost 2 plates, but not quite. My biggest secret for getting out of it, like for row Brandon, is you watch, I'm like this, and I'll roll forward and press up and lift up with my feet a little bit. So like, now I'm out enough that I can press through the first one. Oh. Oh. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Finish off. Well, not finish off, but finish the flies off with the Janicki Flies. Ooh. All right. Whoa, right. Last set of these. Ooh, no, changing things up. We started with a fly and we'll end with a press. Instead of start with a press and end with a fly. So we're actually going to finish on flat bench because neither of our flat benches are that strong anyways, and we use it more for bodybuilding than we do like going for PRs or powerlifting. So light, I'm thinking very light, like 145, pause reps at the bottom. I'm just looking to finish out with a lot of blood in the chest. Yeah. All right. Oh. Let's hit these flat bench and get into some triceps. All right, like I said, nothing too crazy. Way more focused on good squeeze, good pause at the bottom. We're just using this to pump up the chest. After those flies, and then we'll get into the tricep portion. It's also not a bad idea to finish with a press instead of a fly when you're hitting chest and tri anyways, because now we are getting into a little tricep action through a press rather than finishing the chest off of a fly. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was just telling Brandon we gotta hurry up and get these sets done. The high schoolers are in, they'll start surrounding the bench like hyenas from the Lion King. So, get this done and get into some triceps. Ooh. All right. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I did not see Goosey.
So I've talked about this previously in the videos, but I don't think we've ever hit one on video. But this is how I discovered that low-key I do like skull crushers. You just gotta hit them a certain way. This is one of the ways that hitting them really started to feel good for me. We can afford to. So you know it's perfect is when I can barely freaking reach it. Good. Come on. Yeah, a few more. Come on. There you go. Oh. Not wasting any time. As you can see, he just finished his last set of that. Straight into some rope extensions. Ooh. Ooh. Not to be boring or anticlimactic, but we're just going to finish with the same superset we did last week. Reverse extensions followed by push downs. So it's a really good superset to finish your triceps on. So all right, let's get this cardio show on the road. Okay, so that was a pretty good chest and tri workout. So I'm wearing a shirt slightly smaller than what I have been wearing. I'm wearing an extra large. This is a large. As you can tell, arms feel it pretty good. Chest definitely feels it good. That's one of the reasons I haven't been wearing it. Because it's a little harder to get in and out of it. Because of how big my chest and arms have gotten over my years of hitting the gym. I never really thought it'd be an issue I'd start to have when I first started wearing larges again. But I also don't like wearing the baggiest of baggy shirts, so wore a large today. But I did a little physique update just for myself, where I went and stripped out of my shirt and looked at my chest and did like a side chest, side tricep, and it's like I have 8 today. In fact, I've ate almost all my calories for the day already. I'll make 300 off, so I'll probably go home and eat like a salad and have a protein shake, and that should get me right where my protein everything needs to be. But yeah, I've already ate today, so I'm not flat. In fact, I'm not really able to suck in my stomach for a vacuum or anything right now because I'm pretty full on food. But I was actually surprised to see that I was still 2 pounds below last weigh-in, despite already eating like 1,200 calories today and 100 and some grams of protein, and considering like we just did a workout and everything. So it's like it's gonna be inflammation, swelling, blood in the muscles, everything else. But this is one of the only times I can weigh myself because there's a good scale here. And yeah, 2 pounds from the last time I weighed myself. So that tells me if I was fasted pre-workout, hadn't done any cardio, hadn't done a workout yet, just fresh, just woke up, I'd probably be at least 3 or 4 pounds down from last weigh-in. So we're definitely on the right page because that was last week I weighed in last. So, but I'm very happy with that chest and try. It's pretty much the same ending as last chest and try. This time it was a cable skull crusher, not a dumbbell, and then rope extensions. Finished with the reverse extensions followed by push downs. It's a really good superset. Gets a lot of blood into triceps, and it just helps target the young head a lot better. So I do genuinely enjoy that superset. So that's probably going to be a staple of chest and try days. Whether, maybe not every single one, but it'd be pretty common to see us hit those from now on. But doing a different orientation of the chest portion, where normally we would start with a fly and then do a press 9 times out of 10, choosing to start with a fly and finish with a press. Not only did I feel the flat bench way more than I normally do, plus normally I get like 15 to 16. I have gotten 20 before, but I'm in such a deep deficit right now. I'm lucky to even be hitting probably 15 with it. But doing the 135, if that had been our first press, I probably would have gotten 15, 16 with it. I think I was getting like 10 to 12 with it. But I felt it so much more in my chest than normal that by the time my triceps were getting fatigued and struggling to walk out, because it was our last press, my chest was also pretty fatigued. And then it was just a really good way to transition into triceps, because we just finished with a press that requires your triceps to walk out. So I liked switching up today, but in a good way. So good workout, very happy with it. There's definitely, I'm trying not to be overheard here, but I'm not trying to talk crap or anything, but I'm starting to notice the downside of the influence of the trend trends. Both, pretty much in any gym we go to now, there will be a group of high schoolers, or even there's someone 27 here, so older than me. But especially with the high schoolers that come in, they talk about being on trend, talk about how they're breasts and trend. They drop the F-bomb every 2 seconds. They're pushing each other off machines. They're acting stupid. You know, they're literally acting like they're Manic Mike in a trends video. And I wish I was joking, but I don't know if he got picked up at any point in the video yelling at his buddies. But I mean, this kid in here wears his hair just like him, dresses just like him. F, F-in, F-in, oh, F-in, 2 points F-in on, F-in. Push his buddy, screaming at him. Like literally doing his best impersonation of Manic Mike. And then there's a 27-year-old who goes to this gym who says that his dream is to be just like Manic Mike. Like in terms of how he looks, in terms of how he acts, everything. And he does his best to act just like him. I'm sitting there like, that is not a role model. Not in terms of how you act as a human being. Sure, you can chase their work ethic. You can chase having that physique. And I do not blame you. But acting like you're a roided out dickhead, that's a little different. I do see the charm of them. They are entertaining. They're fun to watch. I'll give them that. But I want to aspire to act like that in my day-to-day life or in my interactions with other people, even my friends. So, but that's just me. I was raised different, I guess. I don't tend to think yelling the F-bomb every 2 seconds and getting in people's faces and acting like you own the place at a public gym is good behavior. But part of me doesn't think it was an act. Part of me thinks he probably is on trend. So he's definitely acting manic enough and crazy enough and lifting heavy enough that it's definitely a possibility. Which is sad to think about, because he's definitely no older than like 16, 17. So, but none of my business. Just something I've noticed, because like it's creeped its way into Cuba's gym, which is one of the reasons we don't like a certain person there that we try to avoid, because that's very much his attitude. And despite the fact that he gets trained by the personal trainer there, he doesn't train himself. He likes to walk up to people and try to critique every little thing they do. It's just frustrating. Been doing this for 8 years. Used to be 300 pounds. I have my personal training and nutrition certification, and I'm going to go back to school for my degree in kinesiology. I don't need your critique. So, I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like, actually helpful, but it's always something like, one time he asked me if I knew I could cheat up a few reps to get more out of my set, and it was the very first set of biceps. I was like, yeah, I normally save that for the second or the third and fourth set, or I save it for the second or the third and fourth set of the last few exercises of that body part, not when I first start. And I'm coming in fresh, and I can get good, clean reps pretty much every time, and still challenge myself. And then one time, so he asked that, like, do I know I can get cheat reps in? And then one time he sees me getting cheat reps in, and he comments on how bad my form was. And I'm like, you know what a cheat rep is? And I'm sorry if I'm doing face pulls, and I go from good clean form to oof. It's not much of a cheat. See, it'll oomph in it, but it's not like I'm like just flinging myself back, literally taking my workouts out of it and like turning it into a rhomboid exercise. Heck, he probably doesn't even know that you can accidentally put it into your rhomboids by cheating it. But enough talking crap on people. That's not what we're here for, and I don't want to be that kind of person. But Ooh, my heart rate is up. 142. Yeah, definitely a good chest and try workout. I'm very happy with the chest portion to try. I mean, I can't complain about getting 4 tricep exercises in after a good chest portion that included free presses. Like, I cannot complain about that because triceps were engaged during that too. So if you really think about it, 6 chest, 7 try. Or again, like I said last time, you could argue 6 chest, 5.5 try. If you want to say, well, no, it's like a half of a tricep exercise. Okay, valid argument. Will not argue with you there. But yet again, a very balanced chest workout. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but definitely one isn't getting more love than the other, which is fine by me. When it comes to back and bi, I do want to give love to one more than the other sometimes because I'm looking to bring both up. So some days I'm going to let the bis not get hit as hard so I can focus more on back. And then maybe my back isn't feeling it that day. So I'll get a good back pump, but I'll focus more on the bis and really tear them up one day. Because, they both need to come up. But I think my chest and tries are both about where I want them. I'll definitely find out as I get closer to the show. I'm shredded, and leaner. Maybe I'll find out I'm very disappointed where my chest and tries are at. But just looking at them now, without being able to see a bunch of detail or striations or separation, I can already tell, yeah, that's where I want it. Good upper shelf. I'm not lacking in mid to lower chest in my opinion. It looks like a good full chest, even with like a layer of fat over it. Considering I can see as much separation in the horseshoe of my tricep from the rest of my arm, even without a pump. I'm pretty confident in where it is in terms of size. So, I'm definitely working on biceps more for a better peak. Like, yeah, you want good triceps, that's going to finish the full look of your arms. Because what hangs down is that young head of the tricep, and what is up is the peak of your bicep, which is held up by the brachialis. So it's like, I already have very good triceps. So it's more about building that peak. So chest is good, tries are good. It's about maintaining, and maybe, yeah, they're going to grow a little bit. But it's about pretty much maintaining where they are on the way down, retaining my strength on these exercises as much as I can. I would not say my chest and tries are my weak points. So keeping them balanced and not really like focusing on one more than another and letting one suffer, doesn't matter. They're where I want them to be. So these days are more about chasing a pump and kind of just maintaining the status quo. But back and by, it's about bringing up these lacking body parts. So they have shoulders. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just like some days I want to bring it more on biceps, some days I want to bring it more on back, but I'm trying to bring them both up. So that's why sometimes it's like, God, I just gotta pump out this back exercise and do like 3 more back exercises, and my biceps are already getting hit during that. So I'll do like 3 heavy bicep exercises and go there. Or maybe I'll do 3 back exercises and do 4 or 5 bi. Because maybe my bis are feeling better that day. They're more rested from the last workout. Maybe they were the neglected body part of the last back and bi day. I don't know. It makes sense to me. Maybe I'm thinking backwards. And my chest and tri days should be more unbalanced because it doesn't matter. And my back and bi day should be even. I don't know. But it makes sense to me. And I'm seeing the results I want. Like, I would say my bicep peak has improved a little bit since I started thinking that way. So, because even before I switched back to the back and by chest and tried the antagonistic style of training, I was doing more bicep exercises than shoulder or than tricep exercises on arm days. And our back days were extremely lat focused. Not a lot of rows, not a lot of like rhomboid exercises or like mid to lower trap exercises, because I need to bring up my lats to create the illusion of an even smaller waist. So, you know, the way I've been training, even before I switched to back and by, again, switch to antagonistic training, was already focused on these body parts need to come up. These body parts don't. They just need to maintain, maybe slightly improve, but they got a whole year and they're already practically where I want them. So they don't need the focus I'm giving back and by. They don't need the focus I'm giving my quads. They don't need the focus I'm giving my shoulders. All these body parts that I would say is lacking. And I will say this, the intentions is, no matter what, 160 by next June or next July, whenever they schedule the show. But I'll be completely honest. If I get to the time of the show, 160 or not, if I look at my quads and they're like teeny tiny, if I look at my biceps over my back and they aren't where I want them, I will not participate in the show this year, and I'll do it next year. And we'll just main gain, maybe get back up to 170, and then we'll come back down for the next summer show, hopefully adding the muscle I need. Because as I've said, one of my biggest goals with it isn't just like the most insane transformation, because I don't think I'm gonna have the most insane transformation, but to bring the best package I can to that stage as well. And so, given they allow for a 3-year transformation, I can still take those 2023 pictures, if I do it next year, of when I was at 250, and have the fact that I went from 250 to 160, or maybe lower, depending on what stage weight I should actually be. I do think 160 to 155 will be good, but I could be entirely wrong. Maybe I need to be leaner than that. We'll see. But I'll still have those laying in and around 250 pictures that I can use and still be within that 3-year transformation gap. But I'll be able to come in, with bigger quads that give the illusion of a smaller waist, wider lats, bigger shoulders that give the illusion of a smaller waist, to have an even more, not a dramatic transformation to show for it, but again, to bring the best package to the stage. Because that has been my goal. It hasn't just been, I want to have the best transformation on that stage. Because realistically, if I had known about this show back in 2018 when I started gymming and I was 300, when I got to 180 in 2020 before COVID hit, and then I ended up going back up to 250, I would have walked in, just, pushed myself to lose the weight. And then 2021, I probably would have done the show and would have been able to show those 300-pound pictures from 2018 to wherever I was, and probably could have won the show. But I didn't know it was a thing back then. This was all for my health. It was for myself. I was bullied. I was a bullying victim. I hated myself. I was suicidal. That's what this was about. I found out about this show a year or two ago, and it kind of started floating around my mind. Like, I love this. I love working out. I love losing weight. I love dieting. I genuinely enjoy tracking my calories and the challenge of it. I should probably extreme record it at some point and show you. I'm at 1,700 and something days of tracking consistently. I don't miss a day. I'm addicted to this, truly. and to working out, to losing weight, to dieting, to tracking, all of it. And I love every second of it, including this. Like, I'm dripping sweat down my arms onto the treadmill. I'm out of breath. I already talked to you guys. It's hot as balls in here. It doesn't help that I'm on the treadmill next to the sun beaming in, as you can tell by the sun right here. But like, this thing is lunar eclipsing onto the screen. But I love the process. And so, in my opinion, I don't want to just do the show to say I did it. Like, even if I'm stage weight ready, like right before the show, I will not sign up if I look in the mirror and think my quads aren't big enough, or my shoulders aren't big enough, or my biceps aren't up to par yet. Because I do genuinely want to bring the best package. But considering I have almost a year to bring these things up, I do think I can do it. I think I can lose the weight and bring them up in this year. So, but that being said, there's a chance, and I'm just being honest with you guys, that we do next year's show. I guess typically it's next year's show either way. Instead of doing 2026's show, next summer's show, like we plan on right now, there could be a chance I do it in 2027. But I know that sounds like an out. I'm going to be at 160 at that time either way. We're on pace to do it. I have faith I can do it. Building really healthy habits right now. Getting my cardio in like this. Training hard. Dieting. Like I've really... When I started this challenge, I guess I've been gymming for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years and like 2 weeks. And at some point, I became complicit with half my meals were dieting, half of them were cheating, or I would snack, or, you know, I wouldn't hit my protein sometimes, but I was still under on calories, so I was fine. And, you know, I just wasn't eating the best. I was coming in training every day, and I was just maintaining my weight. Again, I've been sitting in the higher 190s to the mid to high 200s. We're talking some days I've hit 210, some days I'm 195, some days I'm 205, some days I'm 200 on the dot. I've had days I've been up to 214 again. It's been like that for 2 or 3 years now, where I was just complacent, you know, coming in, working out. I mean, yeah, I would say it was more of a recomp phase. I wasn't getting fat. I wasn't losing strength or anything. I was noticing gradual changes in leanness, noticing my chest getting fuller and leaner looking, my arms getting fuller and leaner looking, and stuff like that. But the scale wasn't changing. But now it's like, it's time to ditch those bad habits. Now, they're good habits in moderation. If you're at the body weight you want, and you can, you know, get your calories in and have a cheat meal, but still hit your protein, sweet. But when the goal is to be on the way down in weight, I don't want to eat like that. I don't want to give myself such freedom to the point that I'm cheating on my diet 1 or 2 meals a day. Like I was. Like I was still doing it in moderation and almost smart enough that I wasn't gaining weight, but I could have already hit 160 a long time ago. If I'd not letting myself go to crap in 2020 when the gyms closed down because of the old Panny D, I'd already be there. Because I had went from 300 to 180 from 2018 to 2020. So I was on track and a good healthy pace to hit 160 by now. But COVID happened, I let myself go, made it back up to 250. So I had to lose another 50 pounds, and I haven't been back to 180 since. 180 was the hardest. Like, I sat 200 for 6 months. It took me forever to break that plateau. Once I did, the weight fell off and I hit 180 pretty easy. And then that was like another plateau where I floated around that weight for a while. And then COVID happened. And I've said in the past, once that happened, I couldn't go out to work. I couldn't go to the gym. It was closed. My parents didn't like being out and about because they like wearing masks. So they made grocery shopping really fast. Or they started ordering stuff online from like Sam's Club and stuff and having it delivered. And so that led to a lot of ramen noodles, cereal, canned soups, you know, instant and fast things that you can get shipped to you if I hadn't to worry about them. And just easy things you can walk through the aisles and grab if you do go to the store. So I no longer had steak and rice and potatoes and salads and chicken breast to enjoy. And my weight skyrocketed. And it's very unfortunate. But I should be thankful that in spite of that, I tracked my food for all of it clearly. I'm at 1,700 days. So it's like, I still tracked my food, but it was, you know, 1,700 and something, 1,800 calories of cereal, ramen noodles, grilled cheeses, PB&Js, stuff like that, just to get by. And I got back up to 250. So I'm very thankful I didn't do more damage than that. And I've gotten 50 pounds down since then. And we got 40 some, at least 40 to 50 more pounds to lose. So, and I do have faith that I can do that a year. I've done before. So, muscle memory. Also just being active, being more active, eating a higher protein diet, all that stuff is going to help keep your metabolism going, keep you in a calorie deficit, keep you fuller, younger, all these things. So, we got 2.5 more minutes of cardio. So, by the time I get done yapping, we'll be done. That's a rare occasion where I just talk for the entire day of the cardio, man. If you like the video, if you like it, if you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you made it this far anyways. Half of these videos are an hour long, so if you made it to this point, you clearly liked something. It wasn't this. But merch in the link down below. Harder than last time supplements. Code JS15. Click the link in the description. Get 15% off your order with my code. I love you guys. Appreciate your support. Couldn't do it without you. I mean, I'd probably still be determined to, but having eyes on me, even if there are not that many, definitely helps. Getting the comments, you know, none of you have yet to discourage me. If one of you comment, it's always positive. Or if you don't comment, you like the video. I don't think there's a single dislike in any of my videos. There's yet to be a single bad comment. And I take that stuff to heart. But you guys have faith in me. And I do have faith in myself. But it's that extra push, right? Because at the end of the day, I've never been a confident person. You know, one of the things that got me through the first big weight loss push of 300 to 180 was this mindset of prove them wrong. I remembered how visually angry I was at my boys in school. How much I hated how they treated me for who I was and what I looked like. And I would post on my Instagram and Snapchat, we would just wait just the words, prove them wrong. And I had a whiteboard in my room. At the bottom it said, prove them wrong. And I got to 180. And I remember my biggest school bully hadn't seen me since he left for college. And he said, my dad had told me you lost weight. And I haven't seen you since school. And dude, you're doing awesome. You look great. And I don't know if hearing those words kind of took a little oomph out of my step. But that is about the time I got complacent with my dieting and exercise and started almost main gaining. Then COVID happened and I got completely screwed. Lost the weight, and I think it was more muscle memory than anything. And because things opened back up, being able to get back on my diet, that I lost the weight because I was able to get back into the gym after months not being able to go, and I was able to get back on healthier foods. But I was only ever able to get back down to the 200 area. I haven't been back down to 180 since then. And so I'll honestly be happy just to get back down to 180. But the goal's 160. I think 160 to 155 will be what I need to be for the show. But not having that prove them wrong mentality anymore, because I almost got validation since it was my biggest bully in school who said that to me. And his dad wasn't exactly nice to me back in school either. I ran into him and he was like, dude, I don't recognize you. You know, what the heck? And so, like, I don't know if that validation almost took some of the oomph out of my step, like I said, but having you guys watching and encouraging me kind of puts that oomph back into my step where I am doing my cardio again. I am sticking to my diet again. I am being very strict with my calories again. I'm being very strict with my food sources again. Even if I am having a day where I'm not strict with my food sources, I've hit my protein already and I have the calories to spare to maybe enjoy that food, still be in deficit, still up my protein. Carbs and fats are still landing where they should. Cardio is still done, and I can afford to do it. Obviously, as we get closer to the show, stuff like that's going to have to be less and less. And we're at that point now. Just being honest, because of how easy it is for me to put on or hold on to weight. Where, you know, cheat meals are out of the question. Enjoying a good dessert once in a while is out of the question. Unless it's like sugar-free or a protein substitute kind of thing, like a protein ice cream. But that being said, finished the 30 minutes of cardio. Y'all were probably tired of me yapping, and I promised to stop yapping 2 minutes ago. So, love you guys. Appreciate you. I hope you know that. And I'll see you tomorrow right back here for shoulders.